guys, welcome to Chloe's Candid Conversations. I'm your host, Chloe Celeste, and happy Wednesday. We're almost there. Just keep it going. Keep it going. You got this. I believe in you. Before we get in today's episode, this week's episode, why do I keep saying that? I would like to do a few housekeeping things. So, I know some of you guys, well, a lot of you guys listen to the podcast on YouTube. I am so grateful for you guys for listening on YouTube. But if you could listen on a streaming service, that would be much appreciated because the way I got it set up, I can get paid for this, and I would really like to get paid for this. And I have not reached the YouTube requirements to get paid for this, so yes, listen on the streaming services, for example, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music / Audible. We're not on Apple Podcasts because they wanted me to pay for that. And I was like, no, sir. No, sir. Or madam. But yeah, that's my little housekeeping tidbit. So let's get on with the episode. So, Monday. I know last week I told you guys that I got a CGM, continuous glucose monitor. I am about sick of this darn thing. So what happened was it had the app that you can get. It has alerts for when your sugar is low and for when your sugar is high. It would ring blaringly in the middle of the night because supposedly my sugar was low. I'm talking about like 53 low. So I was like, I don't feel wheezy or like bad or anything. So, you know what? I checked my sugar. It wasn't even 53. It was like, I don't remember, like 100 and something. So I'm like, I'm sick of this. If you're not going to be correct, why do what I want you in the first place? I was trying to be a good diabetic, but now I'm sick of the BS. And it it blares just so loudly, and I'm like, why? Why? Like I get it. I get why, but why? Like if you get what I'm saying. But anyways, that's all I have for Monday. Moving on to Tuesday. So, get to school. The professor is giving us a test. As he should. We're supposed to have a test, right? But you see, the thing is, he gave us a study guide. He wasn't going to go over the study guide. He wanted us to look at the study guide and ask us questions if we had any questions. And I was like, okay, bet. So, came to class, was people was asking questions and whatnot, and he was like, well, some of the questions will come from your textbook. And we're like, what? What do you mean some of the questions will come from the textbook? So let me give you a little background information about this textbook. I said that in air quotes. So the professor gave us an online textbook that we had to buy out of pocket. And when we brought this issue up to him, he was like, well, yeah, you guys have to buy it out of pocket. If I would have put it through the bookstore, they would have had to upcharge to make profit off of it. And I wanted you guys to not have to pay the upcharge. And I'm like, sir, our textbooks cost $50 each, provided by the school. What upcharge is you talking about? The textbook cost 60 something dollars. I'm like, all of our textbooks, every single last one of them, don't matter what textbook it is, it costs $50. I've checked, I've looked at the receipts. They each cost $50. What do you mean upcharge? So we told we told him this, and then the next time we came to class, he was like, do any of you guys have the textbook? And one person has bought the textbook. And he was like, well, I gotta give you guys a quiz because if you're not getting the information from the textbook, I gotta test your knowledge somehow. And I'm like, this is blasphemy. I'm calling the police. Not actually gonna call the police, I'm joking. But yeah, how is the professor gonna give us a test that has questions from the textbook that a majority of the class did not purchase? I don't know what to say. I am literally in shock. Don't know what to say. But anyways, went to my next class. I am the only girl in that class, so the boys were talking about this game. I think it's called Hell Divers. It costs like $40 on PlayStation or whatever. And it was like, oh yeah, this game is so good, man. You guys should get it and whatnot, yada yada yada. And they was like, it's it's worth it than paying $60 for Call of Duty, yada yada yada. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna have to look this up later because I don't want to ask questions. I'm just gonna sit here on my phone and mind my business. And I did. So looked it up at home and I don't get it. We're just gonna leave it at that. I don't get it. I'm not gonna explain anything. I don't get it. Cause I'm definitely not about to spend $40 on that game. Who do I look like? A person that's not spending $40 on a game. Exactly. Yeah, so I ended my day with some good old Subway. But the thing is, I like my Italian herbs and cheese bread. Every time that I have went to Subway this semester, they are out of stock of something. This time, this time and the last time I went, it was bread. I'm like, how are you guys not prepared? Like, what do you mean you're out of stock? It's the beginning of school. Now, take it for granted, I don't know what be going on behind closed doors, so this just me complaining as I do on a daily, but I am flabbergasted. How do you not have bread? Well, the bread that I wanted. It was like we only have wheat wraps and tortillas. No, tortillas and wraps are the same thing. We only have wheat flats and tortillas. Wraps, wraps and flats. Yeah, wraps, flats, and wheat. Oh, I don't know why it took me so long to say that. Probably because I don't get wraps, flats, or wheat. But yeah, that was my Tuesday. Moving on to Wednesday. I don't know what freaking Comedy Central is doing, but they need to cut the crap. South Park is supposed to come on from 9 to 1. It's not been coming on from 9 to 1. They keep cutting it short and they're getting on my goddamn nerves. I'm sick of it. Put my darn show on the freaking TV because it's getting me so worked up. So, in the past, South Park was supposed to be on all day on Wednesdays. It's only on from 9 to 1 now. So I only get from 9 to 1. I have errands to run sometimes on Wednesdays. And they go past 1 and I don't get to watch my South Park. I, it gets me so mad. I just don't know what to do. Do better, Comedy Central. Do better. That's all I'm going to say. So, after my South Park goes off, I switch to SpongeBob so I can watch my SpongeBob. I, w- I was like, Cash, we're gonna sit here and we're gonna watch SpongeBob. We're gonna watch South Park. We're gonna sit here and be housewives and watch daytime television. SpongeBob wasn't on when it said it was on. I don't know what was on. It was some new crap they got showing, and I'm like, you says, you says. I don't care. We use the improper grammar. You says You's gonna be on for about 3 hours. Why is you not on for 3 hours? What am I supposed to watch now? Like, I ain't got nothing else to watch. The rest of this stuff ain't good. I want to sit here and watch my SpongeBob and be content. But I cannot be content because my freaking SpongeBob ain't on. I ain't having this. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Anyways, I was today years old on that day when I found out that Samuel L. Jackson is Frozone from The Incredibles. I repeat, Samuel L. Jackson is Frozone from The Incredibles. I was like, how did I not put this together? It's his voice. Craziest thing. Another tidbit. Y'all don't make fun of me. I know I'll be lacking brain cells sometimes. Sometimes, not all the time. Don't y'all come for me. I did not realize that Tracy Ellis Ross was Diana Ross's daughter. Don't come for me. You're probably like, Chloe, how could you be so stupid? I said, don't come for me. I don't know. I just thought that people be having the same last names and not be related. I just thought it was like that because I knew Tracy Ellis Ross from her own shows like Blackish and whatever other show I watched that she was on. I never made the recollection until I watched the TikTok. TikTok out here teaching everybody everything more than the freaking schools be doing. But yeah, I found out from a TikTok because she was like explaining how she was, I forgot, like somewhere in California, and she was like out there spending her mom's money and whatnot. It was a nice story. The way I'm telling it makes her sound like a spoiled brat, but like no, it was a very nice story. Go find it. And in the search bar, it said Diana, uh, Diana Ross and Tracy Ross. I was like, y'all lying to me. And then I started looking it up, and I was like, y'all. While I was typing, I was like, y'all are lying to me. Don't lie to me like this. Come to find out, it is true. Diana Ross has 5 kids. I think that's how many kids she had. I can't remember. I think it was 5. And I was like, oh my gosh, I am shooketh. How did I not have this recollection that Tracy Ellis Ross was Diana Ross's child? I don't know. It's just the craziest thing. Crazy. Moving on. I have compiled a list of things that Cashmere is scared of. He is scared of the broom, bars of soap, books, and the soccer ball. It's a strange list. He's getting there because the other day he was playing with the soccer ball, barking at it and whatnot. The next day he's scared of her. I'm like, come on, babes, you gotta figure it out. It's just a ball, inanimate object. It ain't gonna do nothing to you. But yeah, that's the current list of things that Cashmere is scared of. Moving on to Tuesday. Tuesday. We're going back in time. Moving on to Thursday. If you had AT&T, you know that there was a power outage. I swear, leave it to AT&T. They'll get you every time. Just like when the flood of 2016 happened in Louisiana. They was out for a couple of days or whatnot. People out here got houses flooded and whatnot, and y'all freaking towers that went out. People trying to get in touch with their family. Shame on y'all. Mm. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, AT&T strikes again. But anyways, my day picked up immensely because I went to the fiery crab and I had crab and shrimp. Oh my god, it was so good. 5 stars. 5 stars. Whew. I was sitting there just munching on my crab, munching on my shrimp. I was tearing that corn up. I know you're not supposed to eat corn on the cob with your braces, but I was like, I can go to the orthodontist. It ain't that big of a deal. But I was being careful because I was like, I really don't want to go to the orthodontist because they already broke my back at once. I'm sick of y'all. But yeah, after the fiery crab, I was supposed to be following my mom home. So as I'm following my mom home, she starts to detour from the desired path. And I was like, have I been following a random person this whole time? Like I know her license plate. Like I know a few of the characters on her license plate. And I was like, I think that's her license plate. And I was like, I had checked on like 360 and I was like, it says we're going like the same way and whatnot. This gotta be her. So as I'm turning the right way to go home, I passed her and I was like, so it is her. Where is she going? And then she comes calling me. She's like, we're going to get ice cream. Where are you going? And I was like, for a minute, I thought that I was just following a random car. And she was like, yeah, we're going to get ice cream. And I was like, okay, I'm about to turn around. I was like, when we left the fiery crab, why didn't you tell me we was going to get ice cream? So I had to turn around, get back on the road, and well, they was already there. I had to get there. So get to the ice cream shop. We get our ice cream. We're all happy go lucky. We're we're supposed to be going home. But then she pulled another doozy on me. She goes to grandmother's house and I'm like, what the crap, man? Why was I not privy to this? Had to turn around again so that I could go the right way to grandmother's house. So we get to grandmother's house, we're conversating with grandmother and whatnot. We check the cameras in the house. Cash is whining. We were like, okay, we gotta skedaddle. The baby is whining. He's scared. We forgot to like leave the kitchen stove light on because we didn't think we was gonna be gone that long. So the TV was on. He was not completely in the dark. We're not bad people. He was not completely in the dark. We had the TV on. He had the TV, but he was whining. It broke my heart. So I was like, we gotta go. We gotta go. Load up in the car right now. Right now. We leaving. So get home. Cashmere was fine. He was just a lonely baby boy. He's good. Moving on to Friday. I woke up and it was around like 6:58. I get a call from my grandmother. She's like, hey, can you take me to the emergency room? I'm like, why? She's like, my leg hurts so bad that I can't deal with it no more. I need to go to the emergency room so they can like get an X-ray on my leg or whatnot. And I'm like, oh, okay, okay, I'm coming, I'm coming. Get to her house. She was still trying to get ready because when she called me, she was in the tub. And so when I got to her house, she was still getting ready, but she was in immense pain. So I'm like, okay, okay, we gotta stay calm, Chloe. Don't panic. Don't do any of that stuff. Yeah, I get to her house. load her up in the car, take her to the emergency room. Luckily, there was nobody at the emergency room the time that we went. So she was admitted very fairly quickly. So we get in there, nurses come, put her in the bed, all that stuff, start checking vitals, all that stuff that they do and whatnot. So I'm trying to remember. I can't remember everything. Well, I can remember everything, but I'm trying to like put it in exact order. Um, so I can't even. I can't think. I'm just not gonna put it in order then. Like so, while we was there, my grandmother had to go to the bathroom. I called. I should have pressed the button to the nurse's station, but at the time, like my mind didn't think of that. So I opened the door and there was a nurse passing by, and I was like, "Hey, can you help her to the restroom?" Because she was like hooked up to a whole bunch of doohickeys. I'm not a nurse. I don't know how to unhook it. I could have unhooked it and it could have been a cold blue when it wasn't. So I'm like, "Hey, can you come in here and help her to the restroom? Whatnot, yada yada yada." She unhooks the stuff and whatnot, and she's like, "Wait, let me get the nurse that's stationed in here and something." She leaves, and then the nurse comes. The nurse that was on duty for her came in and she hooked her back up because they gave my grandmother some heavy medication so she couldn't feel the pain in her leg, and it was like making her go to sleep and whatnot. So she came back in the room and she was asleep. I put sleep in quotation marks because like she was asleep, but then she wasn't asleep, like that type of situation. So the nurse didn't take her to the bathroom, and so then she woke up and she was like, "I still need to go to the bathroom." And I was like, "Okay, I'll get somebody." This time I pressed the button and I was like, "Hey, she needs to go to the bathroom." And the nurse was like, "Okay, I'm on my way." The nurse then came and she was like, "Well, I could just set one up next to the bedside so you don't have to go because your leg, because the way that you're walking, like this is not safe, yada, yada, yada." She was like, "No, I can make it and whatnot." And she was like, "But your leg, we really shouldn't be doing this." And she was like, I can still, I can make it. I can. And she was like, the nurse kept like telling her like, "No, you can't. You're the way that you're walking. This isn't good and whatnot." And my grandmother then suggested like, "Can you bring me a wheelchair?" And the nurse was like, "Well, I would have to go all the way on the other side of the hospital get a wheelchair." And she was like, still like insisting that she just makes one on the side of the bed so she can go to the restroom. I know it's a little bit TMI, but like just bear with me, please. And so the nurse went out to get a wheelchair. And then my grandmother was like, "Hey, come help me to the bathroom. We can make it. It's right here." And I was like, "Okay." She made it to the bathroom unharmed, perfectly fine. The reason that I am mad is because it took me 3 times to tell somebody that you need to go to the bathroom till they took her to the bathroom. I'm I just don't get it. And you're probably like, "I don't get it neither." I just don't get it. I just don't get it. We'll just leave it at that. So that's how my Friday was spent. Oh we was there like 3 hours and 3 or 4 hours. I can't remember the exact time. I think it was 3 to 4 hours. They took an X-ray on her. They didn't come back with anything. They was like the X-ray showed nothing. Then they took a CAT scan on her, and then they told her she had arthritis in her foot. I was like, it took you 3 to 4 hours to figure out that she had arthritis in her foot, and that's it. I know I'm not a doctor, but I can't help but have these questions because, like, why did it take you 3 to 4 hours to tell us that she had arthritis in her foot? I still preface I am not a doctor, so I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, that was my Friday. Moving on. Saturday had a more, I guess you would say, chill Saturday. So I got around to I wouldn't fully say liking. I just bear with my CGM. I just figured out how to cut the alarms off, and I was like, man, if I actually do have a low blood sugar, then I'll actually feel it because the meter just it keeps reading wrong. So I was like, man, if it really happens, then I'll feel it. So I just cut off all the alarms. And then I had watched a TikTok and they was talking about Shein is closing. I'm like, what do you mean Shein is closing? Shein can't close. Cause I can't go shop at Temu. They stole my credit card information. I can't shop at Temu no more. So Shein can't be closing. I like shopping at Shein. Crazy. Just crazy. I hope Shein really isn't closing because I won't have anywhere else to get my cheap finds. I won't have anywhere else. And then my sister, she recommended her club to me to make them shirts for their club. And I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. And I was like, just send me the logo of y'all's club and I'll make the shirts for y'all. The logo that Cassidy sent me, the picture that she sent me, it was so blurry that if I was to use that cut on my Cricut, it would not come out smooth edges. And I'm a professional. I'm a unlicensed professional. I like to get my stuff nice, smooth edges. But yeah, so I had to make a new logo for her to put on these shirts. So that's all good. They're getting. I offered shirts and sweatshirts. Some of them getting both. Some of them getting just the shirts. So yup, got that little gig. And then Sunday, while me and Cashmere were watching TV, he started convulsing. And I was like, oh my God, Cashmere, baby, what's wrong? He just started convulsing. And I was like, what do I do? What do I do? So I took him downstairs. I gave him some water. I gave him some food. Because I think he didn't, I think it was because he was hungry. So because he didn't eat lunch. He skipped lunch because he was asleep all day. So I was like, well, I'll let you sleep since you're just sitting here sleeping. Because I took him downstairs a couple of times with me and he just didn't eat. And I was like, okay, well maybe he's still tired or whatever. So yeah. He is fine though. He is fine. But yeah, he is doing these crazy things. But I watched The Blackening Sunday. It was a good movie. I'm not going to tell you what happened because I don't want to give any spoilers, but I'll tell you what I thought was going to happen. So like you can have my prediction and then you can like watch it and see what actually happens. So my prediction was that it was just a joke. Like everybody was getting like killed like jokingly like when you saw somebody like get killed, like it was like it probably like sent the person in a shock and they was like like shocked and like passed out and whatnot, and then like or they use like a tranquilizer or whatnot, and then like when they woke up, like whoever was behind it was like, hey, we're pulling a prank, you're fine, yada yada yada. That was my prediction. Did that happen? Maybe, maybe not. I will not tell. But yeah, I had watched a TikTok, and it was one of them TikToks where these people like take a DNA test and be unraveling all the family secrets and whatnot. And I was like, shoot, these DNA tests out here ruining family secrets and whatnot, yada yada yada. I was like, shoot, I took a DNA test. I ain't unraveling no family secrets. Dang it. But anyways, that was my week. I hope you guys had a good week. That is all for this week's episode. I'll see you next week. Bye.